James Lynch here from MiddleEasy. Happy to be joined by Sweet Dreams Jamahal Hill, who's going to be taking on Anthony Smith, UFC Fight Night, March 11th. Jamahal, how are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing, James?
Doing great. I did not just get up from a nap, though. This fight, we'd been hearing kind of rumblings about this for a while. It seemed like Smith had said he had a fight signed, you had his fight signed, and you kind of do the math and figure out, kind of putting two and two together. From your perspective, like, when did you get whiff of that you were going to be fighting Anthony Smith?
Maybe like a month ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, maybe like a month ago.
Interesting.
They called and offered me Anthony Smith. They originally offered me Anthony Smith. It was March 25th. And that, to me, that just seemed like a long-ass time away. I didn't like that. And then, obviously, Anthony Smith, somebody I'm cool with. You know, I didn't like I didn't really care to have to fight him. But it was what it was, you know. The alternative was fight a guy that wasn't ranked. They really offered me a guy that wasn't ranked in his hometown. So it was like, nah, bro. I'm trying to get to a title. So me and Smith, we confirmed the Smith thing.
Good.
They actually called me a week ago to fight on December 10th.
Oh, the 282 card.
Mm-hmm. They just didn't say who was hurt. They said somebody was hurt. They just didn't say who it was.
Interesting. Well, obviously we know now it was Yuri Prochazka, right? So
they never even mentioned Yuri's name. It was Magomed or Jan.
Okay.
I told him, I said the same thing Glover said. I said, if it's Jan, run it. If it's Magomed, let me get a full camp.
So you mentioned there was this other opponent that wasn't ranked that they wanted you to fight in his hometown. Are you allowed to say who it was? And were you surprised to get that just because of your big win over Thiago Santos?
Yeah, but I was, but I wasn't. I think it was Jailton.
Oh, Jailton Almeida. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we'll probably be seeing him soon because obviously they want him up at the top. So
one fight I was curious about, obviously Nikita Krylov and Oezdemir fought, a couple months ago. Oezdemir ended up losing that fight. Had he won that fight, do you think that would have been an option for you, or do you think you were past that because you beat Santos?
It depends on if it would have been sooner.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to have been a fight that could have been booked sooner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And you kind of are alluding to it there. And I agree with you. I'm sure you wanted to fight sooner than March, right? Like, I'm sure you were just asking the UFC, like, hey, can I get one more in this year? Was that kind of the plan?
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough spot, right? Because there is one opponent that probably would have made sense, but he's injured, and that's Rakic, right? Like there's a few other guys. Like if you look at the rankings in terms of like you moving ahead, there's very few guys that aren't booked up or injured or whatever, right? So I'm sure part of the reason they wanted to do March was because Smith is still recovering from his injury, right?
They still needed time. He said he originally wanted to go January or February, but he just needs more time, which I understand. I've had my injuries, and I needed more time.
Anthony Smith, Lionheart, they call him that for a reason. A very durable guy, a guy that's going to bring you the fight. How are you looking at this fight from a style perspective? Because Smith is good everywhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as he's well-rounded, but I understand nobody wants to strike with me. I understand dudes truly believe that the easy path and just a way that they just clearly can just have the advantages if they just get me on the ground, and that's what I'm excited for about this one. I think Anthony is well rounded. I think he can potentially test certain areas and things, but I'm him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried about it, bro. Like I watched this. I think I watched the Believe You Me podcast. Last night I watched him talk about it. He feels he's better everywhere. He feels he's the more technical striker, which okay, it's cool. I respect Anthony. He's been an OG to me since we walked in. But I think that me giving him that respect from whenever I first got here, understanding and things, maybe he underestimates and he truly don't understand the threat of what's in front of him. Yeah,
Yeah, no, understandable. Yeah.
I mean, which is cool, I like it doesn't change how I feel about things, I like when people come in confident. I want you to think you have me beat everywhere. I want you to think you have my number. You got me figured out. Because once you get in there and you realize that's not the fucking case, it's a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen that with a lot of your opponents that don't end up making to the judges' scorecards, right?
Yeah, that's a hard one to overcome, especially when you get your bell rung too.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, man. And what did you make of his performance against Ankalaev? I know it ended in an injury, but what did you think of him leading up to the loss?
I thought he was on a good run. I thought when he went in, he looked ready. He looked game, ready to fight. It's hard to really judge because of the injury.
Yeah. No, I know. A little bit of a question mark there. In the past, I know we had spoken. I know you're very happy, training back home at your gym and doing everything that you've been doing out there in Michigan. But you did mention to me, I remember mentioning about maybe going out to Killcliff. Is there any plans to do that this time around just because the fight's so far in advance?
Killcliff? What's Killcliff?
Whatever it's called, Hard Knocks. The gym in Florida. They call it Killcliff now. They've changed the name a couple times. It used to be the Black Zillions back in the day, and now it's called Killcliff.
Oh shit. Yeah. I'm gonna get that way and check out them boys. Also, I've been hollering at a couple other guys that I want to work with. So probably I'm gonna get out and get some cross training in. I just add some new wrinkles to my game. Look at some different looks. I'm just always trying to evolve.
Yeah. No, iron sharpens iron. Any names specifically you can mention that you're looking to work with, or is it still preliminary stages?
I've reached out to Aljo. Aljo, he's got some time. He's doing some things with his family. At some point in this camp, I'm gonna lock in with him and I'm gonna get some work in with him. Kevin Holland.
He's fighting this weekend at the time we're recording this, so yeah, I'm sure you probably reach out to him after. Yeah.
I actually fly out tomorrow. I'm gonna be down in Orlando with.
Oh, great.
If he needs anything, things like that. Yeah, and then Sanford, just get down to Sanford and get some more work in with guys down there.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Why Aljo specifically? Like, what do you want to? Why do you want to work with him specifically? I was just curious about that because obviously he's a bantamweight, but I'm sure there's things that he has in his game, right?
Backpack.
Yeah, no, everything. I mean, he's proven it, man. He's been legit, right?
Oh yeah, well, he's a dog, just the level of comfort and dominance and way he he goes about in his grappling, things like that. There's some things that I know I can learn from that. I can learn there.
And with this fight being in March, do you get to enjoy the holidays at all? Do you get to eat a little bit? Because I always try and remember, like, how much weight do you actually cut to get down to 205?
Depends. I'm pretty big.
Not too big though, because you got this fight coming up, right? Well, I guess you got enough time though.
It was too big.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I ate.
Ate a lot. Yeah, watch a lot of football. That's good.
Yeah. Better if I'd have won some of these football bets, but it's not good.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. It's tough. Smith's only been finished. I think he's been finished twice at 205. He's a really, really durable guy. With all that said, like I know you go out there to finish guys that are tough to finish, like Thiago Santos and so many other names or whatever. But just knowing what Smith's capable of in terms of him being able to come back, we saw that in the Oezdemir fight and against Gustafsson. Does that play in the back of your head, or do you just keep things how they are with you?
Fuck no, I don't care. That's not. Like I said before, I focus on things I can control. I can't control how tough he is. I can't control how many shots he takes. All I can do is just keep giving them to him. Yeah. I don't care how tough he is. I'm gonna put this shit. I'm gonna put these motherfuckers on you. Period. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop until you check out. It's period. If you can take them, and you can just take an ass whooping for, for 5 rounds or until you go to sleep, more power to you. ass whooping coming all the same though.
What is your early prediction for the fight? How do you see it playing out?
I see me going in and doing and performing and winning dominantly. I think he will present some new threats, and I'm excited for those because I get to actually show how dominant I truly am, not just standing, not just with the hands and things like that. Everywhere, you know what I mean, everywhere. I plan on, you know what I mean. My guy Anthony Smith, cool, but I plan on owning him everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, we're looking forward to it, man.
Comes.
And obviously, there's a ton going on in your division at the time of recording this. We've got UFC 282 next Saturday. What did you make of the way they sort of everything sort of unfolded with Yuri? Obviously, you know, vacating the title. It's now a vacant title fight for Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev. Do you think that was the right call?
I kind of knowing how I was called and why I was hit up about the situation and things like that. No, it's not really surprising that it played out the way that it did.
Yeah. And you said it before, you kind of agree with Glover that, hey, if you're fighting Ankalaev, you probably want a full camp for that one, right? As opposed to fighting Jan, who already defeated.
Yeah, because and then, you know, he's been training to fight Yuri, who was planning on striking with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Ankalaev will come with a wrestle heavy approach. So you have to be physically ready for that.
Do you think the title should have been an interim title? Because Yuri, I mean, he got injured. He's going to be out for a while, but do you feel like an interim might have made more sense? Because technically Yuri didn't, I mean, Yuri got injured, but it's not like he lost the title. You know what I mean?
Me, if it's me, no, I'm not giving up the belt just for the simple fact of what it, money wise, just what it does. You know, having the belt automatically, you make a certain amount, you automatically are going to make a certain amount. You automatically, you know what I mean? That I'm pretty sure as a challenger, you don't get paid for pay-per-view. You only get paid for pay-per-view as a champion. So even if he does come back, he's fighting on pay-per-view, they're not going to pay him any pay-per-view money. You know what I'm saying? And you gave that up and you gave up the belt. So certain things like that from a business aspect for reasons why I would not have done that.
Well, not only that, but the other thing is, like, if he wants to break any records at 205, then he's basically like he can't, like, he has to win back the title. It's not like if he wins his next fight that counts as 2 wins. It's going to just count as him winning the title again, right? Yeah. So it's a little bit, I thought that was a bit interesting. And back to the fight itself with Magomed and Jan. How do you think that plays out, especially with it being 5 rounds now? I don't know who you think that favors, but how do you see the fight playing out next Saturday?
Oh, I think the 5 rounds favor Magomed.
Yeah.
I think if wins is going to be he's going to have to get a solid shot through and land and hurt him, wobble him, whatever. I think that's going to be Jan's path to victory is landing a good shot, landing and getting a finish. Magomed, I think Magomed should just focus on trying to beat him up. Just try to beat him up. Eventually the finish will come. If not, I think he wins. I think he wins wins at least 3 of the 4 rounds. I actually see him winning 4-1.
You think there's a chance that Magomed finishes Jan as it gets later in the rounds?
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that happening, but honestly, just based off of how Magomed fights and things like that, I think it goes to decision. I think he wins 4-1.
What would a win do for you? Because we have this weird situation now where there's a bit of a logjam, right? You've got obviously Glover probably going to fight the winner of Magomed and Jan next Saturday. Then you've got Yuri, and then there's Rakic out there. Like what do you think about all that? Because it's obviously like a kind of weird timing right now for your division.
Just focus on winning this fight.
Yeah, can't even think about it. Yeah.
Just focus on winning this fight. Win this fight impressively in dominant fashion, and I think they want me. I think they want me to be the champion. They want me to go for the title shot. You know, they don't talk like I do. They don't bring the swag that I bring. They don't. They're not willing to go in there and go get it like I am. So that's what the people want to see, and that's what I think the UFC wants as a champion. So.
Do you think there's a possibility, like if Yuri's out for a while, like we don't know when he's going to be back, that you could, again, you win this fight again, not looking past March, but you win here, you could maybe insert there, right, with a big win, especially finishing a guy like Smith.
100%. I think if I win, I think I'm title shot.
And the other name I mentioned there is Rakic. Do you think that's a possibility as well, as maybe fighting him if a title shot isn't next with a win here?
Possibly.
Yeah, I know it's tough because again, the division we have to see kind of how it all unfolds, right?
Really I'm not really looking to go, beat 5 and then 4.
Mm-hmm.
If it's either, I want to go from this to a title shot, or from this to a former champion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it, man. And then, like, what does it mean to you, though? Like, the fact that the UFC did give you that call, I know it didn't work out. I know you're not going to be fighting next Saturday, but what does that mean to you to know that the UFC thinks that highly of you? I mean, we've been talking about this for years, about how you've been underrated, and finally it seems like you're getting these, marquee matchups. The UFC's recognizing that. What does that mean to you after all the work you put in your career?
It means I'm heading in the right direction. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing the work. Keep doing what you're doing. The level that I want to get to and the level I want to take my name and my brand to, it's right there. Just keep working and keep performing.
Yeah. One thing that's happened below you in the middleweight division, we have a new champion, Alex Pereira, defeating Israel Adesanya. What did you think of that fight?
I thought it was a good fight. I thought Izzy was winning. He just needed to get out of that last round, and he didn't. Initially, when I saw it, I felt like they should have let him. They should have let it go a little bit longer, just because he's a champion, and I feel like if you're gonna beat the champ, you got to beat the champ, which he did. He did. He had him hurt. He had his eyes rolling in the back of his head. But I also think that from what I've seen and Izzy was still lucid, and he still could have slipped his shot, cleared the cobwebs a little bit, and got back to it. But it was a good fight, bro. It was a good fight. Alex is a beast, bro. Dude's big as fuck, bro. I said this in New York back, like, what the fuck was this? It was like January. We did a signing. We both did a signing together. Me, him, Vicente Luque, and Aaron Blanchfield. We all did a signing at the same place in New York. I said that then. I was like, this motherfucker 185. I was like, this dude's big as fuck. This dude's bigger than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Only thing I'm really thinking, like, about him that interests me is the fact they talking about he might come up. Come on in, my boy. Whenever he decide, yeah, I can go up there and fuck them up. Come on in, my boy.
You and Pereira? Yeah, I'm sure you'd love that, right? That would be a great fight.
All that smoke, all that. Okay. I was there. I watched it live. You know what I'm saying? All respect to Izzy, but I'm knocked Pereira the fuck out. Do your thing at 185, bro. Goat it up down there, but you come stumping, you come playing in my motherfucking yard in my backfield. I don't play that shit, bro. Stepping into my grounds like that and everything. I'm wrong. It's a competition and everything. It's a job, but I take that shit serious. You know what I mean? Like even this fight coming up. You know what I mean? Whenever we step in there, it's all business. Mm-hmm. You know, and those eyes, the look of me that he's never seen that before. He don't understand that side. You know what I mean? But he'll get acquainted with it. Because this is what we do. He's the same way. He's ready to go. He's locked in. He's competitive.
It's all business. Yeah.
He's competitive. He's got the same thoughts that I do, and I'm with that shit, you know what I mean? Because it's what I am and it's what I do.
If him and Izzy do end up fighting again, would you favor Izzy just because he was winning the fight, or do you think because Pereira could just knock your lights out at any point that he would be favored? Who would you pick if they were to fight again?
I'll probably pick Izzy. To win just because he's literally been like right there at the cusp, like that, like the end of the first round, he had him on skates. I think he should have came out and been a little bit more pressing with his attack, a little bit more forward to try to put another hard one clean on his chin. And I think that'll happen next time if they fight. I think Izzy will fight with a little bit more urgency to get him out of there.
And what did you make of this whole Alex Pereira, Khamzat Chimaev thing? He was talking about this the other day, that the UFC was potentially gonna make this fight. Do you think, the interesting thing with Khamzat is obviously his style is, grappling and takedowns. If they were to fight, how do you think that fight would play out?
That wins that fight easily.
Yeah.
I think Khamzat wins that fight easily because Alex even still though Alex starts slow
Mhm.
with his striking. He starts slow with the striking, which leaves room for you to get an entry in. All Khamzat has to do is get an entry in and get and initiate and engage in grappling. The minute they engage in grappling, I think at some point he ends. I think at some point he'd get Pieta down, and Pieta whenever and if Izzy can get Pieta down and keep him down, you know what I mean, keep him down, beat him up a little bit on that. Khamzat is nasty, dude.
You think his strength though would translate just because we talked about Pereira and how much weight he cuts, right, and how strong he is. Like you got to think he's carrying. You don't think it matters because I always just think like there's no way Pereira could make 170. Chimaev can, so there's got to be a bit of a strength difference there. No, am I out to lunch here? You tell me. You're the fighter.
Bro. I mean, strength is strength, but here's the thing, bro. That doesn't matter in grappling. I mean, obviously, it plays somewhat of a factor, but if you know how to grapple, you know what points to get to, and you know, all right, I got to be stronger, I got to exploit here, I got to beat him here, I got to beat him at this point, I got to beat him at that point. You know what I'm saying? Chimaev knows these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So his strength, he's not gonna be fighting against power. He's gonna be fighting against technique.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a good point.
Yeah, so that won't make a. I don't think that would make a difference.
Okay.
Plus, Chimaev can crack too, bro.
Yeah.
Chimaev can crack too.
Yeah, he's got some serious power. Switching gears here a little bit. What do you make of this whole Conor McGregor thing about him not being tested by USADA? You see some of the photos of him. He's looking pretty big. You know, as someone who gets tested by USADA all the time, I'm sure like everyone else, and Yuri getting tested 51 times. What do you think about that?
Dana White privilege.
I mean, it looks that way, right? Like I thought the rule is even if you're injured, like I know Weidman is still getting tested and he hasn't fought in a while. He's been injured. Yet Conor's, injured for less than a year and he's not getting tested. It seems a little odd,
I don't know, man. Shit, that's their business. But man, everybody already know certain people get certain treatment.
Yeah,
so it is.
Speaking of use,
people know certain people know special treatment exists, and then they act flabbergasted whenever they fucking see it. Like,
yeah,
come on, my guy.
Yeah. Speaking of USADA, Jon Jones, we still haven't seen him return yet. We're hoping he's going to fight at heavyweight. They're trying to target that fight with him and Ngannou in March by the looks of it. I think I've asked you this before, but how do you think Jon will do at heavyweight?
I think he'll do fine.
Yeah?
I think he'll do fine.
What about the power, though? This is something, again, we talked about earlier with Chimaev, but like, Jon, like taking a Francis Ngannou punch at heavyweight is a lot different than taking a punch at 205, I would think, no?
Taking anybody's punches. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing, though, right? Jon's not dumb. Whenever people are betting on Jon, they're not betting on, it's like, oh my God, I've seen him do. They're betting on his IQ. They're betting on the fact that he can look and assess and understand what he has to do to win. You know what I mean? And he has the ability to do it. He knows that at heavyweight, his best chance at power is going to have to come from his technique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as he understands that and he does, I think he'll be fine.
Larissa Pacheco beating Kayla Harrison. What did you think of that?
I was shocked. I was shocked a little bit. Everybody was shocked. But I just kind of had a feeling that last fight that Kayla Harris won, I seen like a highlight. She's bulldozed, took this chick down, just beat the shit out of her. You know what I mean? And she just kind of walks off like, kind of like the Ronda Rousey thing. She kind of does like how Ronda Rousey used to be after she went like bitch. Like that type of shit. And then I seen that maybe like a few days, and then like I kind of had a feeling like,
yeah. Well, it's the same girl's fighting her 4 times. I'm sure at some point she'll figure her out, right?
I just had a feeling, and then whenever I seen it, it just kind of wasn't like I was shocking, but it wasn't too surprising. I didn't watch the fight or anything like that. I just seen how she was standing up there looking. It was like she made you feel some shit you never felt before.
Aside from your TikTok and Instagram, which is a must check out, I loved your video the other day with the NFL commentary. That was great with the announcers and stuff. But man, your relationship advice, I got to give you credit, man. Like I don't see a lot of people posting about this. You give some really raw and like honest takes when it comes to relationships. I wanted to know first off, how many people are reaching out to you for advice? Because you got some good points, man. I always read your posts.
Man, bro, people hate me.
Because you tell the truth though, am I right?
Hey, bro. Hey, let them tell it. Let them tell it. I'm like a lot of people feel like because I just whenever I speak, just me as a person, I'm very real and I'm very raw, and I understand how reality works, So whenever I say certain things that are like harsh and things like that, people some people I've never heard them before. I've never heard it. They've never heard that level of honesty or that level of just raw realness, and it kind of offsets them. It kind of throws them off and things like that. So so yeah, some people just look at it as me just bashing or me just hating or me or like just me being hurt or whatever like that. But it's really not that. I really just see things and I want to talk about them and see if I can help with certain people. And I've had people hit me up. I've had some women hit me up and it was like, oh, I never really thought of it that way, things that way, And maybe I tried another way. I got a date with this guy, and because of you, this. So I've gotten good and bad.
Yeah, like I saw Elise Anderson, who I know fights for one championship. I saw she was like, "Hey, good point." Like, you get women there who are like understanding where you're coming from because I think they know who you are and they know what your intention is. It's not like you're doing it for clout. You know what I mean? Like you're doing it to have a conversation and talk about stuff that a lot of people in today's society have a hard time talking about, right?
Yeah, and it's mainly if you look, I mainly do it on my Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook is more personal. It's more like those like people I know and things like that are like a little bit like closer to me. I haven't really gotten on the bigger scale of talking about things yet, but I'd like to, just because I like having conversations. I like things that stimulate the mind and make you think and things like that.
yeah. What's your best piece of dating advice for guys out there, especially younger guys? Because I feel like there's a lot of bad information out there. Do you have anything to give out there?
Work on you, bro. Don't worry about work on you, bro. Focus on you. Put you and your success and things like that. You know what I mean?
Well, that attracts the right people, right? If you're focusing on yourself, I feel like a lot of guys will try and make their world, I got
to be clear with this because here's the thing, though. It's been construed nowadays that it seems to be the thing that think that men and women are the same, and we're not.
No.
So whenever I'm saying we'll focus on you and work on those things and things like that, I'm saying that because building yourself physically, financially, mentally, and things like that, those are what women are attracted to. You know what I mean? That's what women like. And somewhere along the line, they seem to think we are the same and we are attracted to those same things. And we're not. So just focus on you, bro.
The best way I can put it is a man can look at a woman and be attracted to her. A woman can look at a man and be attracted to him, but he also has to, but you have to build up the attraction. It has to be those other things you mentioned, successful, personality, being funny. Whereas with a guy, I can look at a woman and there's nothing I can do. It's just, you're attracted, right? It's different. It's a different level of attractiveness. They want a guy who's successful and confident. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Assertive. Like they pretty much, the world has raised guys to be simps.
That's true, especially with social media. Yeah,
social media, all of that. It's raised the world to be simps. A lot of guys were raised by their mothers nowadays. So, and if you want to, the biggest way to become a simp is take dating advice from a woman, especially from your mom, because all the advice is going to be towards benefiting them. It's not gonna. You're not gonna get the real raw end of what you need to do and what things like that. So,
yeah. There we go. Jamal, we could do a whole podcast on relationships. I'm sure it's good talking to you, man. If there's anyone, hey, go ahead.
I already one. I've already filmed one episode. I got to film some more episodes.
Have you really? Oh, good. Okay. When's this coming out?
No Dreams podcast. I go on and I don't sell any dreams. I just tell it raw, straight up like it is.
So it's going to be about relationships, though, or is it just in general?
The dynamic, relationships between men and women, things like that.
Good stuff, man. Looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to this fight. I know it's coming up in March, but it's going to be a fun fight. You and Anthony Smith. Jamal, thanks again, man. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, let people know where they can find you on social media. If you got any sponsors and your new podcast.
As always, I want to thank my team, my manager over at Sucker Punch, my guys at Black Lane, my sponsor partners over at Lizard Licked and Grind Hard USA clothing apparel. Y'all check those out. I'm locking in, man. I'm just ready to get going, get ready for this next fight. Y'all tap in. It's gonna be from what I've told, we haven't confirmed the location yet, but it's gonna be a live crowd. My first main event live. I'm ready for it. I'm turned up, and you already know how I'm coming.